seeing if it fits. I was pretty nervous about putting it in here, so I figured what I'll do is I'll let it heat up a little bit. Let the snow melt. It's gonna get wet in here. I'll try sweeping it all out, and then hopefully it stays in the bed, and I'll whatever melts off, and then I could just drive it around the block with it. That's pending on the fuel pump starting up again, but fits in just fine. I could even get a little more room. It's I was worried about the height, but the height's fine. I was worried about the length, but length's fine, even though there's some storage in here. So we are good to go. The heat's on, heating up now. There's the heater right behind it, blowing over the back. Rock auto. So we're good to go. Doesn't give the price. I don't know what I paid for it. Here's the fuel pump. See what it looks like. Package pretty good. There it is. Instructions for installation. Let's see what the brand is. I guess that's irrelevant. Let's see. Carter. So it's a Carter pump. So that'll be going in. You can see. Let's see. Turn the light on. So the skid plate's down. I used the motorcycle jack, which ended up working great. I think there's 2, 4, 6, 7 screws that hold up the skid plate. So that's step one. So we dropped the skid plate out. The screws came out pretty easy. And just going to get the skid plate out of the way. Maybe I'll wire brush it and give it a coat of Rust-Oleum. And maybe once the tank's out, maybe I'll do the same up underneath the frame and everything. But so far so good. See what the next steps bring. So as you can see, I got one off. They're both pretty rusty, but I was able to loosen them both up and get them off. So this one I just kind of pried around, and you could smell the fumes right away. So I'm just gonna pop it back on there until I'm actually ready to drop the tank. This one I think I had to work off a little bit. I think if I just poke the screwdriver and kind of widen it up and break it free of the weathered stuff, but you can see the bed's pretty rotted here. So we're going to have to get a new bed someday, but for the meantime, we'll get a new pump in this son of a gun and drive it. I got the straps out. They're kind of rotted out. Let's see what happens. That strap's pretty rotted. I don't know if I'm going to get a piece of it. Yeah, it's going to break. See if we can get I'm gonna have to see if I can get that strap off. Right now it's really fragile, so I think it's rotted out. I'll have to get a new strap. Back to the drawing board. You got the pump, as we can see the top of the pump now. You got the spigots going out, so this jack ends up working out awesome. So there's the pump right there. So there's the way I got it set up. And then you have the little locking tab, so it only could go down a little bit at a time. So I got it on the last one before I let it all the way down. But so far, it's pretty good. I definitely need a couple new straps, so that kind of sucks. That kind of puts me out of business. What I'm going to do is try putting it back up anyway, and strap it in there somehow. But right now, I need new straps. But pretty cool. So far, so good. This is it. I got one bad. I think I'm going to take it off the jack. It's not that heavy. See if if I can just roll it out. Might have to pick it up to level it up just to get it past the frame. There she is. Big tank. Tank itself. I was gonna make sure I let you know. I think it was $2 for this little gas clip thing. It worked exactly as advertised. You just pop it up and yank the fuel lines right off. So that was easy. Then the fuel line itself unscrews. I mean the top of the fuel pump itself unscrews. Once you get that off, then you get I blew it all off with compressed air to try to get as much dirt. And it's clipped in down below, and it's below the top of the fuel level. See, I don't know if you can see in there. You can see, let me see, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. So you can see that the top of the fuel pump is in there. So just got to figure out how to take that out, pop the new one in, the new one's right next to it. And that pickle is this. So I checked the numbers, and you know, whenever there's a risk when you order something online that it's just not right, you can see where I'm getting at. But anyway, everything looks right except the top. So the top is definitely different. So this one is made to mount on the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the wiring off out of this, and I'm going to take all the wiring out of this one, and try to just change the top plate, keep everything else. So, let's see if I can. I'm squeezing the tabs, trying to lift up on it. Doesn't seem to want to go. Push them out. Doesn't seem to want to let go. It looks like you squeeze them in. It really looks like you squeeze them in. Let me try it one more time. Squeeze them in and push down maybe. Ah, it ripped. Shit. Second attempt to try to get the fuel filter out of the bottom. First one didn't work out too good. So let's try it again. I think I just broke something. That didn't work out too good. Got it unclipped. I made a bit of a mess. I got it out though. But you got it. So the thing to do is to actually reach down and lift the clip up. I broke this one, but when you squeeze it, it wasn't enough. So you have to actually pick it up. So I got my hands with gas. So I rinsed them off with a little ballistol, little neutral action. So now I got to change this top plate. the top plate of the pump that I ordered. Everything else is exactly the same, except the top plate has holes in it for mounting to a metal tank. This one's of course the plastic tank, and there's a big threaded nut that goes over the top of the whole thing. So I gotta disassemble this and make it look like that, and make sure the hoses don't cross and everything. So that's the next. That's the next. Here's the old one. There's a clip I broke off, and there's a piece of rubber glove. This is the old pump. I had to take the top off because I have to reuse the old top. So I cleaned it up. I got to reuse the old top. And there's the new pump, new wiring. So what has to happen is this. So you have the arm that comes up for the fuel and the little filter for the intake. And the way it works is right inside here. Is the filter goes in that top. If we're looking at the camera now, the little filter pad has to go under that ring, and then it clips in. I can't see where it clips. It'd probably be a lot easier with less fuel in this tank. And then over on the side, on the closer side, is where the fuel level gauge goes. So, gonna pop that in, press it down into that little rubber gasket, and hope for the best. So, I'll do this. Now, let me set it up on the tripod. On the tripod, let's see if I can get it to. I don't have rubber gloves on, so I'm not reaching in there again. And although the rubber gloves usually break, at least it's a peace of mind. So I can control it by the top quite a bit. It's not going to be enough though. I'm going to have to guide that little filter pad around. Yeah, so I got to don some rubber gloves. Get this thing in there. So all right, that's what I'm gonna do. It's in there. I'm coughing from Ballastol. Remember the one rubber glove I had left busted when I was popping it in, but you could see I'm trying to get it without the glare. There we go. So popped right in, fell right in. The indicator, the tank indicator, is floating right on top of the level of the gas. Little pads in there. It filled up, bubbled up while it was filling up. So it looks really, really awesome. Yep, so it's in there. The gasket I conditioned with some Ballastol. I conditioned all the connections, anything I was going to reuse with Ballastol. And I had to heat up the little tubes to get them to release. So I just heated them up slightly, and I didn't heat them up to slide them back on. It was a real pain. I didn't have any metal or stainless clips, so I used wire ties, so we'll hope for the best there. That's the high pressure line, I would guess. But there's a pretty tight fit, and wiring's all new. It's pretty good news so far, so I'm going to go ahead and screw the top onto this thing and start getting on. I think it was because I kept feeling like it was cross-threaded, so I'd get it threaded on a little bit, and I'd take it off because I thought it was cross-threaded. But it's just a tight fit, so once I got it started a little bit, I kind of forced it, feeling like it was cross-threaded, and then as I threaded on it, it was normal, and I measured all the gap around the whole top, and it seems to be uniform throughout, and it's tight. So I just whacked it with a hammer and the screwdriver until it didn't move anymore, and that's it. I'll probably write something on the top to say the date, and straps should be in tomorrow. Get this project out of the way. Well, the straps came in today. Look at that, yeah, it's rotted right out. Do a size check, but it looks like it's going to be all right. Perfect. There's one. There's two. Well, this one doesn't have, the second one doesn't have a hinge, but it looks to be okay. Looks like it has a new screw too. Captive nut. That's different. So we'll have to make sure that's still just finding more rotted out stuff. So here's a little, it looks like a vent valve that goes to the front somewhere. But this one attached to the front side of the tank, but it rotted right through. So I found a piece of hose that fits, and I put it on the Y here. I'm going to feed it through little cable clamps, and Just won't have the metal piece anymore, but you can see it's quite rusty stuff. So we'll take a stab at it, keep putting it together. Doesn't look like the gas tank straps are exact either, so I might have to do some bending there, but we'll make them work. I hope. I really hope. So back to the drawing board. Let's try to get this thing assembled. I jacked up one side with the regular floor jack so I could slide the motorcycle jack in. I got everything there. I got all the hoses and electric hooked up. I actually started it up already. I got one hose to do, and I have the clamp the hose. That hose right there, you can see the spigot. So once I get that in, then I'll jack it up and try the straps out. And if I get it strapped in tonight, I'll take it for a ride. And I don't know what to do about the skid plate. I guess I'll throw that back up as well. Well, it's up. It's kind of a pain. This whole back piece is like a guard. The motorcycle jack did awesome. So now I got to strap it up. So it's back in there. Once strapped up, I got there's the spigots, refiller hose, and those are just about in the regular spot. I probably should get a new rusty piece replacement there, but I won't have to do that yet. The rest of the body's just really rough shape. So, all right, let's see if we can strap this thing up. Yeah. All right. And we'll take it for a little test drive after. It seems to have a lot more power than it did. I don't know if how that's even possible, but it really seems to be a lot more powerful. It starts right up. So I think we have a successful, complete job. Let's go. Let's see if we can make the hill in two-wheel drive.